Hey everyone, how y'all doing? Welcome and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new weekly writing vlog. So I took a bit of a break after Camp NaNoWriMo. If you missed those vlogs, I will link up my writing vlog playlist for the year up above so you can go check them out. So basically in Camp NaNoWriMo, I wrote an entire draft of my novel What You Mean to Me. It's a novel inspired by the Disney Channel original movie Starstruck, and I actually had quite a bit of fun writing that book, but I did just want to take a bit of a break afterwards just to kind of, refill the creative well, just regroup a little bit, figure out what I wanted to do. So I'm finally back with a new writing vlog and I'm so excited to be here. So yeah, I was gonna film an entire video talking about my end of year writing plans, and then as I was preparing to film that video, I realized that it probably wouldn't take me that long to talk about, so I could probably just fit it in at the beginning of a vlog. And also the goals are not that much different than what they were last year when I made my end of year writing plans video, so it's really nothing new to you guys. So basically my plans are from August through October is to work on my project AMS again. Now, I know that if you've been around on my channel for a while, I sound like a frickin' broken record because I always talk about AMS and I always talk about how I'm finally gonna work on it, but this time I feel like it's actually gonna happen. Fingers crossed. I really desperately want to work on this project. I've had this idea in my head for literally so long. I think the earliest seeds of it were back in 2017, but I really started to sit down and want to work on it in 2020, I believe. And so I've just been kind of wanting to work on it since then, but just never being able to find my groove with it. So have I found my groove with it? I don't know, I haven't started working on it yet, but I'm hopeful that I will because I kind of had a mini breakthrough with it recently. I can't remember if it was during Camp Nano or before Camp Nano, and so I'm hoping that that breakthrough will kind of lead me into being able to figure out the story a little bit more because I would really like to work on it finally. So basically the whole plan is just to prep the story to be written in November. So the plan is to participate in November NaNoWriMo and to write the first draft of this story during November. Basically I just need to make sure that everything is done and ready for November. So the biggest thing is to finish the outline, but I also might want to dip back into characters a little bit, just do some basic brainstorming or world building or something. Yeah, so that's basically the plan. Now usually I take a month-long break in December because it's the end of the year. Usually I'm quite burnt out from NaNoWriMo, and also it's Christmas time, which is already inherently busy, but it's also just my favorite time of the year, so I tend to want to enjoy it. But I've decided this year I might possibly not take a full break in December. Last NaNoWriMo, so November of last year, I drafted a Christmas book called All Wrapped Up. And I thought it could be fun this December while it is Christmas season to reread the book and potentially take notes on it for a further revision. I'm not taking this book too seriously. I would like to publish it one day, but it's not something that is at the top of my list or anything, so I'm not planning on revising it anytime soon. But I thought it could be kind of fun just to revisit the story, see if it's as bad as I remember it being, and just potentially take notes on it for a very far in the future revision. I'm not totally sold on working on it, but I thought I would just write it down. But I would like to at least do a little read through of it because I think that would be fun. I'm always looking for more Christmas books, so why not just read the one that I wrote myself? So that's basically my plans for the end of the year. Nothing too crazy. I really hope that I can do it because like I said, I really want to work on AMS. It is one of the books of my heart, I think, and I just need to get over this weird fear that I have that it needs to be perfect and figuring it out, because I drafted What You Mean to Me last month and it was nowhere near perfect. I knew that Act 2 was very small. The fun and games beat was way too underdeveloped, but I still wrote the book anyway. So I think I need to adopt that same mentality that I had for that book for this book, because I keep thinking that it needs to be all worked out and all perfect in order to write it, but it doesn't need to be because it wasn't for What You Mean to Me, and now I have a draft of that book and I still don't have a draft of this one. I've now written 2 books in the span of wanting to work on this one, and both times it's because I came up with an idea to avoid working on this book. So yeah, and I don't know why I've adopted this weird perfectionism in terms of this project when I haven't really done that with any other project in the past. I've never really felt the need to have it be absolutely perfect going into it. I've never overthought this hard about a project before, so I don't really know what's going on in the old brain up here, but I'm hoping that I will be able to finally draft it this year, even if it sucks, because it's going to, even if it's not perfect, even if it's not the story that I necessarily want to tell. If it doesn't come out right the first time, I just want to be okay with that. I just want it to exist so that I can make it better. Yeah, so it's currently Monday, start of a new fresh week, and I'm going to start the process of working on AMS. So let's just go ahead and kind of talk about my game plan for this week. Okay, so yesterday I wrote down a little mini game plan on this old zebra notepad that I have. Let's ignore that. And I only wrote down 2 things because I don't want to like overwhelm myself. I don't want to try to jump into it too quickly and just like expect for me to like have it all figured out. So I wrote down 2 different things. So the first one is to revisit the current outline that I have written. I don't have a completed outline, but I did start an outline. I started it last year, and then according to when I last opened this document, I guess I worked on it in February of this year. This year has felt like a million years, so I genuinely don't even remember working on this project this year. Yeah, I don't even know where I got up to in this outline. I did not put the beats, but I'm still in Act 1, I think it looks like. So I need to reread it and figure out what can and can't stay, because I've slightly altered the plot of the book. Not too drastically, but like a little bit. So some things I know for sure are not gonna be able to stay. I might be able to work on them a little bit and just kind of adjust them to now fit the story, but I basically need to look it over, see what kind of shape it's in, see if I like it enough to continue, or if I just want to start from like scratch. I don't know. I'm very overwhelmed by the whole outline situation, and I don't know why. Oh, it's bothering me. So if you don't know, this book is going to be told over a then and now timeline. Originally, I think I was wanting the 2 timelines to be quite equal, but now I'm thinking it's gonna look more like the Summer I Turned Pretty series, maybe, where there's like those flashbacks, but it's like the main character like reflecting on things, and those chapters are just kind of used to like give context to certain things that are going on in the plot, and they're a bit more sporadic. So they're just kind of there to aid the main story, not to actually like have its own full story, if you know what I mean. So now I need to adjust the then timeline. So what I might end up doing, I'm not sold on this. I always come up with different ways to plan out this book, and then I always change my mind. But what I'm thinking is I might just do the now timeline first and then kind of go in and see where I can elaborate with a then timeline. Then I need to do some just in general plot brainstorming so that I can like properly figure out the outline. But when I got like my brain wave for this book recently, I wrote down some things in my notebook, and from that came quite a few different questions that I had, and I would like to have those answered. And I would like to try to answer at least some of them this week if possible, just so I can, you know, really have like a good jumping off point to start outlining this book properly. Also, I just really quickly looked in my folder of papers that I have here of like brainstorming and like random things, and I realized something is missing. Something that I didn't do for this project that I did do for What You Mean to Me. So basically, What You Mean to Me was a second chance romance, and so what I did to like kind of plan that out so that I would know like the basis of their relationship is I wrote down like a whole like relationship history kind of thing. Like I just sat down with some paper and just wrote out what I thought their relationship looked like how they got together, what their first kiss was, their first date, and then like so on and so forth when they said I love you for the first time, and then kind of like the demise of the relationship as well. And that helped me so much when drafting, because I was able to put in all of these like specific references to their past relationship. And like it's not perfect by any means in the draft, but like I know that it gave me a better understanding of them as a couple, and I didn't do that for a relationship in this book. So basically the entire story is just about my main character who lost a friend who was maybe almost a romantic partner, and they're trying to figure out like why that happened. And I feel like it would be so beneficial to kind of really do a deep dive into what their relationship was, like their friendship and almost relationship, so that it can like further inform me for the story. So I think I'm adding that to my game plan. Don't know if it's going to be tackled this week, but I think it could be very helpful. And then some of those things I could even use to pull for the then timeline, which I think will also be extremely helpful when outlining. So yeah, I think I've got a full-on game plan here, and I'm very excited about it. But I think mainly for today, I just kind of want to read through everything. Like I want to read through the outline, maybe read through some of the papers that I have in here, read through the character profiles, maybe just really refresh my memory on everything to do with this project, immerse myself in it so that I know everything and can tackle the outline and everything with a like clear, full brain. Why did I say that so weirdly? I have no idea. But yeah, I'm feeling really excited. I love this project, and I know that it's gonna be a really hard one to get right. But yeah, I think it's time to get to work. Okay, it's a little while later now. I've made myself a smoothie. I've done a little bit of work, I guess. It's always slow going when you like sit down to work on a new project. I know that this project isn't like new, but it's still like in the early stages. I looked over the outline. Literally only took me like 2 minutes because it was like 4 pages long. Definitely I feel like the pacing is a bit slow, so I think I'm gonna have to work on that. I think I'm possibly like starting it off in the wrong spot. I've never felt super confident in the start of the book, and I have a feeling that it's gonna be a very similar situation to Reasons Why Not To, where I had to like rewrite the beginning a million times before I feel like I got it right. That's annoying, but I'm gonna do my best to feel at least semi-confident in it going into the first draft. But like I talked about earlier, like it doesn't need to be perfect in order for me to write it. It just needs to be there. It just needs to exist in some capacity. I also went through my notebook and I reviewed the character profiles, and I reviewed a lot of the notes that I have in here in the brainstorming. I also pulled out Save the Cat Writes a Novel, which is my favorite writing craft book ever. I've been going through this a little bit. I also fooled around in Pinterest a little bit and then posted on Twitter with an aesthetic about working on this book again. So I've been procrastinating a little bit, listening to this playlist, which is one of my favorite playlists I've ever created because it's just so like sad and dramatic and I love it. So I've been listening to that on full blast, which has been a vibe. It's amazing. So I don't know how much more I'm going to do today, just because I don't know, like I really want to take my time with this, and I do have time because I don't need to write the draft till November, so I don't want to rush anything. But I've had a good time jumping back into this project a little bit today. I did do some brainstorming as well, I just remembered. I wrote down some different timeline options and just wrote down some little like notes of like possible scenes and like different things that I could possibly do. So progress has been made, and I feel like this was definitely a good start, a good first day back, you know? Actually, now that I'm like talking about it out loud, I think I might be done for the day. I know I didn't do a whole lot, but I do have other things that I need to do. I need to read, and there's a couple other things that I would like to get done. So I think I'm actually gonna focus on that instead. Then I will try to return to this tomorrow to some capacity. Okay, so it's actually now Thursday. It's been really hot this week, and so I haven't been wanting to film. I haven't really been wanting to do anything, honestly. Like, I haven't even been writing. I need to make this update quick because I just turned my fan off and I'm already sweating, so that's lovely. So yeah, like I said, I have not even been writing over the last few days, but I just sat down for the last couple of hours. I've kind of been trying to work out an outline for this book. I feel like every time I start to work on this book, I genuinely forget how to write a book and like how I go from point A to point B, of having an idea to having a full-fledged outline that I can go off of and write the first draft. Like, I've done it 2 other times in the span of having this book idea and wanting to write it, and it's always easier for like the other projects. Like, been able to have the idea, brainstorm and outline it like so quickly, but then I sit down and try to work on this one and I'm like, what are words? How do I outline? What are story beats? How do you brainstorm? Like, I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm working on the outline out of order. I'm kind of just going through different beats and trying to figure out what the big ones are, and just trying to go to the ones where I know more about. So like, I don't even have an opening image, but I have like the setup figured out and the catalyst and the debate and break into 2, and I'm currently working on the fun and games. I have some ideas for like the midpoint. I have one that I kind of like, but I need to figure out what the other beats following that will be. I don't know if it quite works. I need to use Save the Cat and review those beats a little bit more. Anyways, I'm gonna go back and work on this for a little bit longer, and then I'll probably spend most of my day after that reading. But at least I'm making some progress. There's over 1,000 words in this outline currently. I'm not feeling like great about it, but I'm not necessarily upset about it. I will not be surprised if this book needs rewrites in the future, you know, or like total reshuffling, total re-outlining. Would not be surprised. But I think I maybe need to write this book wrong the first time to get it right. I think I've said that before about this project, but I don't know. I need to go. I need to turn my fan back on. This is ridiculous. Okay, so it is now Friday. I did not update last night. I meant to, and then I just didn't. But I actually got a lot of good work done yesterday, and I'm so proud of myself because I literally was having a conversation with Alyssa being like, I can't figure out this book. I think I've made a clip talking about how I can't figure out this book, and basically just like I forget how to write a book every single time I sit down to work on this specific project. And then I don't know what happened, but I just started writing the outline and it came to me. It's not finished. There are blank spots, but I'm like really happy with it so far. I know it's not perfect, and I know that this book is probably gonna need some like major work in the future, but I don't know. I just got into such a like groove yesterday with this. I was on such like a roll that I was like really sad to like stop writing yesterday, but I had to get reading done. There's also a live show that I wanted to watch, and then Demi Lovato's new album came out. So I ended up having like quite a busy night yesterday, but now I'm kind of sad because I've been sitting here for the past maybe like half hour trying to like build myself up to get some writing done, and I'm just not feeling it today. I mean, I haven't actually tried to write anything. Like I literally opened up the outline document 2 seconds before starting this clip just so I could like tell you guys the word count, which I'll tell you in a second, but I'm just like, I'm not feeling it. I'm feeling so tired and drained today. The heat does that to me. Like I'm just like zapped of all energy in the summer. But anyways, the outline is currently at 1,602 words. I'm gonna try to get some work done, but if I can't, then I'm just gonna read instead, I think. But I'm gonna try.